Hey, do you realize it's already our third edition of the It's Not Rocket Science competition? So far, we've helped 1,500 students explain in simpler terms a concept in their field of study to high school students.
Yeah, and that's why we called the competition It's Not Rocket Science. C'est pas sorcier. We introduced all our young Padawans to the basics of popular science. We taught them that it is possible to share knowledge with any target audience by adapting the way you explain things and the language you use.
Oh, c'est beau. And I believe we helped some students step out of their comfort zone by filming their video in this studio.
True, but I hope we didn't traumatize some.
We did put them in stressful conditions. You know, they were highly demanding professionals, and most of all, English teachers pointing out every pronunciation mistake.
Non, stop. Attention, c'est development. Say un peu, répète. Development. And then they had to wait for all these secondary school students to maybe vote for their video. Easy.
Oh yeah? Would you say it's like a piece of cosmic cake?
True, they did outdo themselves. We could say that they shot for the stars.
I agree. Like every year, we are particularly proud of our finalists. We asked them to take the role of content creators and even actors to enter the It's Not Rocket Science universe. And all that in the official language of NASA.
Yeah, and in 2 minutes, they managed to explain whether we get any younger when in space, what happens to our cells and bones when in space, whether we should protect ourselves from cosmic radiation, whether we're alone in the universe, whether we could live on another planet, what cryovolcanoes are, and even how we could harvest solar energy in space.
Great! Like astronauts landing on Earth after a long journey, I think they'll all have earned their rewards.
Come and discover our universe.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me fine? Yeah, great. So we're really happy to have you here today for the big reveal of the It's Not Rocket Science competition winners. But before we get to that, let's take a moment to welcome the people who joined us today. We're happy to welcome the Vice Rector for Research, the head of the Eurospace Center, our audiovisual service, the Confluent des Savoirs, our fellow English lecturers, and even secondary school students and their teachers who took part in this adventure by voting for their favorite video. I know we have students from Institut Notre-Dame de la Paix. Make some noise if you're... What did I say? Oui, the Bertry. Where are you guys? Yay!
They're over there.
Institut Notre-Dame d'Arlon. Yay! L'Athénée Royal Paul Delvaux. And Saint-Louis Namur. There's one student there. I know he's there. So let's not forget to also give a warm welcome to our Université partners from all around Europe who are watching us online.
But let's not forget the stars of the day, our 14 finalists. From biomedical sciences, we have Ella and Angelina, Jeanne and Pauline. From physics, we have Jeanne and Chloé. From chemistry, we have Antoine and Baptiste. From pharmaceutical sciences, we have Océane and Manon. From geology, we have Anaël and Loïc. From biology, we have Dua and Anela. But before we announce the names of the winners, we'll be first making a live call with Don Petit, who's currently aboard the International Space Station. Our finalists and some students here will get the opportunity to ask Don a question in English, of course. Guys, remember that at the end of the questions, you have to say, over.
Wow, great. Thanks. So, Stefan here. Here he is. Hello. Thank you so much for helping us make this opportunity possible. We're sure students will forever remember this once-in-a-lifetime experience. So, to tell you more about this incredible moment, I'll hand it over to Stefan from Aris.
Thank you. Okay, welcome today. I'm Stefan Dombrovski, your moderator for today. I'm an amateur radio in Belgium, or in 6TI is my call sign, and I organize such contacts. But this is also with the help of course, the team on board of the ISS. It is also with the National Space Administrations, NASA, ESA, Roscosmos, JAXA, which is the Japanese, and CSA, which is the Canadian space agencies, which are all involved in the ISS. The ISS, as you can see it now on the map slightly, but Claudia just changed it, it is actually just over Cuba. That's the current position. You can see it just over Cuba. And in 14 minutes, it will rise above the ground station IK1 SLD, which is in Italy. It's close to Milano, Casa Monferrate. And this station is actually part of a network of ground stations that ARIS has around the world. ARIS is an organization of volunteers, radio amateur volunteers, worldwide, which ensure this kind of contact, of course with the help of the space agencies. Today we are going to contact Don Petit. Don Petit is also a radio amateur, so we can talk to him. His call sign is KD5MDT, which is an American call sign. He is American, and you can see his picture. And we will contact him, and students here will ask questions, and he will answer them. And you will hear live the answer of the ISS. The ground station is, as I said, in Casale Monferrato in Italy, near Milano, and it's operated by Claudio Ariotti, IK1 SLD, and his team. You can see a few members of his team in front of the screens. I will pass in the microphone in a few moments, and he will say hello to you. Wait, I just saw him, and he will ensure the contact. Today, students from Namur and surroundings will ask the questions, and Don Petit from Expedition 72 will answer them. So, just I welcome Aude Hansel for a few words. She will tell you about the school.
Just briefly for those who's just joined us online, so we are at the heart of the Walloon capital in Belgium at the University of Namur. We organized a popular science competition in the English course for 80-year-old students, and they were challenged to create a 2-minute video explaining a scientific concept related to space. Our target audience is high school students. They are 16 or 17, and today, after the contact with the International Space Station, we will just reward the winners of the competition.
Okay, thank you, Aude. So now ISS has already slightly progressed. The ISS is actually flying at 28,000 kilometers per hour, 7.9 kilometers in 1 single second, and it's flying 400 meters above the Earth. So when the ISS will, Chloe, can you show the map again, please? So when the green circle, which is all that ISS can see, will reach the cross IK1 SLD, we can actually start the contact, and the contact will last about 11 minutes. Because after 11 minutes, the ISS will again set below the horizon. So that is the contact time we have, and not more. So ISS is actually a very bright object in the sky. If you look at it when it's already dark on the Earth, so about 1 hour after sunset or 1 hour before sunrise, and the ISS is already in the sunlight, you can clearly see it without any glasses or so. It's a very bright spot in the sky. The size of the ISS is like a football field. 105 meters wide, 74 meters in the other direction, and about 20 meters in the height. Of course, most of them are the solar panels, but the inhabited space you can see on the picture is in the middle, and it's also quite large. So as ISS progresses, I will now pass on the microphone to Claudio, who will give a quick explanation about his station, where he is, and how he's going to do the contact. So Claudio, can you please describe your station?
Okay, Stefan, do you copy my
Yes.
my microphone? Okay.
Loud and clear.
Thank you, Stefan, for your presentation. Briefly, our telebird station is located in Casale Monferrato, in northwest of Italy, 100 kilometers from Turin and Milan. And we have a complete station with automatic system to track ISS in real time, and the antenna is just pointing the International Space Station, rising in a few minutes. So when T minus 30 seconds, I'll go to call Don Petit aboard the ISS, operating today with Oscar Romeo 4 India Sierra call sign. And as soon as signal will be loud and clear, I will invite the students to start with first question. For everyone, please don't forget to say over, because this is a very important thing to coordinate the conversation between us and the astronaut. Now I see the International Space Station approaching to Europe. We have T minus 7 minutes and 45 seconds from now. So microphone back to you, Stefan.
Okay, thank you, Claudio, for your description of your station. So again, ISS is coming closer, but it's still 7 minutes away. It might be even a few seconds more, because this morning the ISS had a reboost, which means they changed their orbit, and so they are slightly later than on the initial planned schedule. No, it's not like the train. They're on time, but they change orbit. They have to do that because the remains of air at this altitude, at 420 kilometers, is still enough to slow down the ISS. So with time, it loses 10 to 20 kilometers altitude per month about, at the current rate. If it gets closer, it will even lose altitude faster, and in about 6 months' time, without any reboost, it will actually break in the dense atmosphere and partly burn and partly just fall apart and fall on the Earth. So that is not what we want to do. So ISS is regularly pushed back 20, 30, 40 kilometers every month to get again the right altitude to stay in orbit. So that is why this morning we did the reboost, so there might be a small change, but usually it's 10, 20, 50, 40 seconds or so, but that we will handle no problem. So we still have 5 hard minutes. What can I say again? a lot of things. ISS was built in the late 90s, assembled, and was operational in 2000. So the first astronauts were there in 2000 to actually inhabit it. And we, as radio amateur, persuaded NASA to get radio equipment on board, amateur radio, as an emergency communication. Possible. Yeah. Okay. So we persuaded NASA to do that, and they accepted it. And actually, in 2000, the first experiment that was turned on was the amateur radio station. So in November 2000, we did the first contact with ISS. Since then, 25 years later, we did over 1,700 contacts. So 1,700 contacts. So average now, it's 100 contacts a year, worldwide. So it is Europe, US, Canada, South America, Africa, Russia, Japan, Australia, wherever. So we can contact, even Antarctica has participated, and so we do a lot of contacts. So still 4 minutes left. Yeah, it is always difficult to, okay. Okay, so yeah, so we do the contacts. We also do contacts with other spacecrafts. Back in 1992, we contacted Dirk Frumelt on board of the shuttle. We contacted Frank de Win several times on board of the ISS. We contacted a lot of other astronauts, Thomas Pesquet, Tim Peake, Don Pitty. I already contacted him several times in space. It's not his first mission, and maybe not his last mission. We contacted also Sunita Williams a lot of time, because as you know, she was on board for 8 days of work and 9 months for holiday. Can't say that, but she had a lot of time to do radio amateur contacts. So we talked with her. Also from the Eurospace Center, we did have contacts with her. And so that is something we can do. So now that we have 3 minutes left, yeah, it's the show must go on. I will slowly hand it over to our friend Claudio. But before, I have 2 things still to say. The first thing is, don't forget to say over. Very important, because that's the cue for Claudio to switch from transmit to receive, and for the astronaut over there to start transmitting and giving his answer. The second thing I have to say is, what we are doing here is an experiment. And as you know, experiment can go okay or not okay. They can succeed or fail. We'll know it only after this experiment. So I wish it works. And now, Claudio, I hand it over to you, and I wish you good luck with the contact.
Okay, Stefan, thank you. We have 1 minute and 45 seconds to the call. I will remember to Don to stop a question at 2 minutes before LOS to present the winner of the competition. So I will stop at 2 minutes to LOS.
Here, the noise is when there's no carrier, so no radio signals coming in the receiver.
Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, I'm calling now. Oscar Romeo for India, Sierra Sierra. This is India, Kilo 1, Sierra Lima Delta. Claudio from Telebridge Ground Station calling for a scheduled Darius contact. Do you copy? Done. Over. Oscar Romeo for India, Sierra Sierra. From India, Kilo 1, Sierra Lima Delta, Claudio from Telebridge Ground Station, calling for a scheduled Darius contact. Do you copy? Done. Over. Oscar Romeo for India, Sierra Sierra. This is India, Kilo 1, Sierra Lima Delta, Claudio from Telebridge Ground Station, calling for a scheduled Darius contact. Do you copy? Done. Over.
1 SLD, IK1 SLD, OR4 ISS.
Okay, Oscar Romeo for India, Sierra Sierra, IK1 SLD. Good afternoon, Dan from Italy, and thank you to reply to our call. Your signal is loud and clear. Today we introduce the Université de Namur in Belgium, and don't forget to present the winner of the competition at 2 minutes from the LOS. Are you ready for first question? Dan, over.
I am ready for questions. Over.
Okay, go ahead, Belgium.
Hello, I'm Anela. What advice will you give to young girls who dream of working in space exploration? Over.
Advice to young women and young men. Study hard in school and be near the top of whatever you do. Over.
Hello. What was your academic path and what personal initiatives did you take to achieve your goal? Over.
I studied chemical engineering at university. I got my PhD in chemical engineering, and I was always working on side projects dealing with science and engineering. Over.
Hello, how does the absence of gravity truly affect your perception of time and space on a daily basis? Over.
I do not think that the absence of local gravity affects our perception of space and time. Perhaps the orbit with 16 day-night cycles might affect, but I do not notice any change in perception of space and time. Over.
Hello, I'm Roxanne. How do you manage your food stock? Do you grow your own food in the ISS? Over.
We have freeze-dried food and thermal stabilized food. It's a lot like camping food, and we rehydrate it with warm water, or we put it in a food warmer. We do not raise food on space station. We do not have the capability to raise enough calories for keeping a crew fed at this point in time. Over.
Hello, can you describe how it feels to eat in space and how different it is from eating on Earth? Over.
Eating in space, you have to be careful not to lose your food in terms of it floating off. You want to avoid food that makes a lot of crumbs. I like to eat with chopsticks. Chopsticks are really good to eat your food in space. Over.
Hello, do Do you ever get bored in the ISS, and if so, what do you do? Over.
I never get bored on ISS. There's so much to do even in your off-duty time. Doing imagery out the windows is one of my favorite pastimes. Over.
Hello. What are the most surprising mental challenges you've encountered in space? Over.
I think the most challenging mental challenge is following a timeline where every day, every 5-minute space in your day is pre-planned and you have to stick to the plan. Over.
Hello, what were the scientific goals of your latest mission in space, and what practical applications has it had for humankind? Over.
Station has many scientific goals, both in physical science, chemistry, and in biological sciences. I think the most significant are going to be the human research programs that we have that look at human physiology and microgravity, and this can be applied to everyone on planet Earth that doesn't have the experience of going into space. Over.
Hello. Do you work on designing tools that can counter cosmic radiation? Over.
I do not work on designing tools for cosmic radiation. I can measure the levels of cosmic radiation that we have on station and document that aspect, but actually making the tools and the radiation shielding I do not work on. Over.
Hello, I'm Matis. Will there be another project to replace the ISS? And what will be its purpose? Over.
There are currently planned several different varieties of space stations. These are commercial space stations, free enterprise companies, and each one will probably have a different focus. One may be for biological research. The others, I am not certain. Over.
Hello, what's the hardest thing to do in microgravity conditions? Over.
The hardest thing to do in microgravity is working with something that has a lot of little tiny parts, like little screws, little nuts and bolts. They tend to float off in weightlessness. Over.
What's something that is surprisingly easier to do in microgravity than on Earth? Over.
Surprisingly, moving big, heavy objects is easy to do in microgravity. Just a couple of fingers. Over.
Can you briefly describe a typical day in the ISS? Over.
We use GMT time, and we start at 7 a.m. in the morning, and we work 12-hour days. We get off at 7 p.m., and there's typically another hour worth of work after that. So we work 13-hour days, 5.5 days a week on space station. Over.
Hello. How has seeing Earth from space changed your perspective on life? Over.
I find that seeing Earth from space and looking at the cosmos from space reaffirms whatever your existing beliefs are. Over.
Hello, do we know the existence of a planet with liquid water on its surface? Over.
I am unaware of another Earth-like planet that we know for sure is Earth-like. There are candidate planets that we think might be Earth-like, but I don't know of any candidate planet that's been confirmed to be Earth-like. Over.
Hello, my name is Natasja. I'm an English lecturer, and my question is, how important is mastering English for an astronaut? Over.
Currently on the International Space Station, we speak 2 languages. We speak English and we speak Russian, and we have written procedures and equipment with controls written in both languages. And by the way, you speak English very well. Over.
Thank you, Don, and let's give a big round of applause.
It has been a pleasure talking with you all, and study hard in school and come take my job when you get out of university. OR4 ISS out.
Okay, thank you, Don, and 73s, and see you another time.
73 down from Telebridge ground station and out. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Okay. Thank you, Claudio. Ladies and gentlemen, we just shared a moment of history. We managed to contact through the amateur station AK1 SLD in Monserrato, Casale, Monferrato, operated by Claudio Ariotti, to contact from Namur and ask questions to Don Petit. So it was a successful experiment, and for the international team of volunteers from ARIS, including the Radio Amateur Satellite Corporations, NASA, UBA, CSA, ESA, JAXA, Roscosmos. This is Stefan Domowski, ON6TI, sending my greetings to all of you. In amateur radio terms, 73. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Claudio. Thank you for everything.
Thank you to all of you, and thank you from our team in Casale Monferrato, from Alessio here with me and Livian, and thank you to all with this beautiful event in Belgium. 73, ciao ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you. Bye, Claudio.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Wow. That was great. We're really happy it all went well. So, thanks a lot, Stefan. Thank you for everything again. I'm sure everyone's really happy to have had this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Back to the competition. So, as many of you know already, this is the third edition of the It's Not Rocket Science competition. We're happy to have finalists from previous editions. They are here with us today. So I suggest we give them a round of applause and welcome Colline, Marion, Cédric, and Mélane.
Come over here. Hi again, guys. So we are particularly excited to have you among us today because you are among the first students to experience our competition, right? And we would like to ask you a few questions. Cédric, looking back, what have you learned from your participation in the very first It's Not Rocket Science competition?
I will say I learned three things. The first one is that the word symmetry in English has two N in it and not one. The second is that it's like strange for lay people like us to work in a studio and to film a video, and it's a pretty cool experience, I would say. And the last one, I would say that I learned someone which is my mate. And yes, my classmates. And that's it.
Thank you, Cédric. Mélan, maybe can you share a fun fact about your very first experience?
I just want to apologize because I'm a bit sick.
Okay, just keep the microphone next to your mouth. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously we have a big height difference, and for the when we recorded the video, we had to I had to step on the dictionary, and even with the dictionary, the height difference was still obvious, and that's something I remember, and that was fun.
Thanks for sharing. Marion, what would you say you've learned from the second edition then? And you were big winners last year. Tell us.
Well, I learned to speak in front of the camera. I was not used to it. It was also fun to speak with our professors, because we don't have a lot of interaction usually. Yeah, it was a great team, and everyone was really nice, and yeah, it was great to that we could explain to some people who are younger and don't understand very well science how it works. So,
any fun fact?
Well, on our video we throw plastic balls, and it was really difficult to do it in the studio because it was not high ceiling, so we had to do it 3 or 4 times because it was not great.
Yeah, we had to step on tables and throw balls at you, I remember.
Sorry for that.
Thanks for sharing. Thank you, guys.
Okay, back to this year's edition. So 7 pairs of students were selected to refilm their video with professionals here at UNAMUR. Last week, everyone got to vote for their favorite video. There were posters all over our campus, and we also advertised the event online thanks to the European Alliance Universelle, which our university is part of.
So remember that the videos, they were aimed at high school students. So we did all the necessary to give them access to your videos, as well as teaching material to help them practice their English while making their decision and vote for their favorite video.
So we received no more than 200 emails from schools all over Wallonia, and you can all be proud of yourselves because we got plenty of positive feedback and comments on your videos. So for example, a teacher from Tournai wrote, "Thank you for giving my students a glimpse of what might await them in next year." This is Jadot, Collège de Tournai. Another teacher from Bouillon wrote, "My colleagues and I appreciated the bridge between secondary and higher education." As for the students, some wrote, "This has inspired me to want to study sciences." And we also had, "I hope you will propose other videos next year."
And we'll definitely will, won't we? So I think it's time now to announce the name of the winners. Please welcome the director of the Eurospace Center, Jean-Marcel Thomas. With whom we've been collaborating for 2 years now. Right? So Jean-Marcel, you will tell us more about the prizes that are going to be awarded to the winners. Let's start with the 3rd position. Can you describe the prize for the 3rd position?
I will say first that I'm not a good speaker in English. I'm sorry, but the staff of the Eurospace Center speak very better than me. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy that the Eurospace Center is one of the partners of this organization here today. And for the 3rd prize, This is for interest in the Eurospace Center. It will say that you can come during the Eurospace Center during 1 day. You can stay, I think, 6 or 8 hours, it depends. And you are going to try 10 different simulators inside the Eurospace Center. And we have now a new exhibition, Back to the Moon. It was very fantastic, and I hope that you have a good time for.
Okay, so thank you. So in third position, we have Jeanne and Pauline. Come over here, come over here. Congratulations, girl. So Jeanne and Pauline from Biomedical Sciences. Good job, well done.
Good job.
Congratulations. The prize for the second position.
For the second position, this is the mission Orion. You are coming in the Eurospace during 2 days, like you go in Disney or another park. You stay in the Eurospace all the time. You can visit the Eurospace Center. And the Sunday, you have the opportunity to try 2 different simulators. This simulator will be normally made using only for the camp with the young people, but specifically for this product, you can use it with a monitor.
So in second position, we have Dua and Anela. Congratulations.
From biology.
Biology students, right?
Good job, girls.
Congratulations. And first prize, what is it? Tell us.
The third prize is the mission Discovery. This is also 2 days in the Eurospace Center, but you don't stay with all of the people inside the Eurospace Center with the 10 simulators that I speak before. You are going to make some exercise, some activity laboratory, like you are build a rocket, you are going to make the mission with the simulator of the shuttle, and so it's just, you are going to live like an astronaut during 2 days.
And the winners are Ella and Angelina.
Are they by any chance in the auditorium?
Where are they?
That's really too bad, but that's fine. We're going to watch their video.
Happy birthday, Angelina! I brought you a little... Oh, why do you look like that?
Look at these wrinkles, Ella. I'm getting older. If only I could go to space to slow it down, or maybe even reverse it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't believe everything you hear. Space might sound like an anti-aging miracle, but trust me, it's not that simple. Let's talk about it.
Have you ever heard of microgravity? With little gravity, astronauts lose about 1% of their bone density every month. Imagine your bones becoming as fragile as a piece of chalk.
And that's not all. Muscles also deteriorate rapidly. After 6 months, astronauts lose up to 20% of their muscle mass and 40% of their strength. Without training, they could end up all floppy like modeling clay.
To avoid that, they have to work out for 2 hours a day.
But space doesn't just accelerate aging. Sometimes it's the opposite. Take Scott Kelly, for example. During his time in space, his telomeres, those little caps at the end of our chromosomes, like the rigid tips on your shoelaces, actually lengthened.
Exactly. Normally, telomeres shorten with age. But in microgravity conditions, it was like his cells were rejuvenating.
Impressive, right? But it didn't last. As soon as he returned to Earth, his telomeres went back to normal and were even shorter than before.
Why does this phenomenon happen? Well, space isn't just about microgravity. There is also radiation, isolation, and constant stress.
And stress can basically affect everything. Muscles, bones, telomeres, and even the brain. After a year in space, Scott had slower reflexes and shorter telomeres. Space is far from being a fountain of youth.
In short, space can accelerate some aspects of aging, like bone and muscle loss, but it can also temporarily lengthen telomeres.
But it's not a miracle solution. Space puts our bodies under a lot of stress, and that doesn't stop aging.
So, are you ready for a space travel? Or would you rather stay on Earth?
So, how does it feel to be part of the It's Not Rocket Science family? Anela?
Thank you for the prize.
Oh, we can't hear you, I'm afraid.
Oh,
here.
Okay. So, firstly, thank you for the prize. It was really amazing. It was a new experience for me, and I loved the experience.
First of all, I'm very happy to be in front of you all, and it was a very good experience doing videos like these and having fun with our teachers and my classmate Anela. And I'm very proud of myself and of my friend that we had the second prize. And yeah, thank you.
Like to say anything? Don't want to add anything. Okay, everything was said. But of course, let's not forget our finalists. So we have 8 finalists that also recorded great videos, right, that performed very well. So of course, we also have prizes for them.
And give them a round of applause as well. They did really well.
You can share the prizes. My turn. Coming.
Okay, so this closes the 3rd edition of the It's Not Rocket Science competition. But the evening's not over. In a few minutes, we'll be listening to Julie Henry, who will talk about the challenge to attract girls in sciences. And before that, we would like to thank all the people who took part in the project and helped us make It's Not Rocket Science what it is today. So let's start with
our amazing and motivated students. Once again, a big round of applause.
And then we have these audiovisual services. So we have Thierry, Raphaël, Jean, Emeline, Valentin. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. The Confiants de Savoir, Aline, Julien, Maxime. Thanks a lot.
Our fellow English lecturers who have been following us in this crazy adventure, they're over there. Thank you.
We also have the content specialists, as we call them. They are the teaching staff of the faculties of sciences and medicine who helped us check the content of the videos.
The communications department, of course, who helped us advertise this event and who supported us and who made it possible for the press to come and film us, and also the written press. So thank you. Thanks to the communications department.
And we have all the people at Eurospace Center. Thanks a lot for everything.
We have the International Relations Services because our session now is online actually, so followed through Europe by our partners from the University Alliance of Universities. Thank you.
And then last but not least, we have Stéphane and Gerard who made everything, did all the necessary to get in contact with Don today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Don.
Okay, so it's 5:40. So what we had in mind is to maybe show you a quick blooper. Then there will be a break, and we will be listening to Julie Henry at 6 o'clock. Here it goes.
Constant stress.
And stress can basically affect everything. Muscles, bones, and telomeres, and even...
So, in a way, you're going to get to do the test.
And show the telomeres. Tu te moques de moi. J'ai une image.
C'est top, avec des yeux comme ça, tu sens qu'il y a quelqu'un derrière toi, tu vois.
Ouais. First, il n'y a pas dit top.
Il n'y a pas dit top.
Il n'a pas dit top.
Alléluia.
Muscles. Hello.
Hello. Good. Pardon. Ça va, merci.
So, that's it for this video. Telomeres.
Pardon. J'ai failli te rigoler.
Okay. So time for a short break. Please be back at 6.
Okay.
All right. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Let's proceed to the second part of this evening. And we are very happy to welcome Julie Henry, who works here at the University of Namur as chef de projet STEAM. She will tell you what it is exactly, right? Julie is a chemist, and she earned her PhD in computer science. So a big thank you, Julie, for being here tonight. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So, good evening, everybody. I'm not really fluent in English, so I do my best, and I'm not afraid to speak English because I think it's also important to show that we are all human, and sometimes we have some weaknesses. So, probably English is one of mine, not for an intellectual meaning, but for psychological meaning. But I think it's okay because I have some notes and I know some words, of course. So, attracting girls to STEM fights. So, probably you know that it's a big challenge because we spoke about that every day in the media, and perhaps you don't know why, and perhaps you are not aware of all the current situation, but I'm here to make a presentation, and I want in this presentation make you aware of the role you can play in this issue, and how you can help drive change in the university and after the university, of course. Perhaps you don't know the acronym STEM. So STEM is for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And what about the problem in women in STEM? There is not a problem in every STEM fields. So I could also give you some information about that during the presentation. But in general, there is a problem, an issue, and that's very strange because the research showed that early exposure to these fields normally influence strongly a young and a girl, so in their interest and career choice. So you have science in secondary school, and sometime in primary school you have a small introduction, but it's not necessary. It's not sufficient for the moment, and we have to make more than that. Just for perhaps the little story, I choose a career in STEM field just because I like science, and I like science thanks to the Aerospace Center. Because when I was in primary school, I make my, we say in Belgium, klasvert, my klasvert in Aerospace Center. I stay 1 week when I was 12 years old, and it was my most powerful memory of my primary school. It was really great, so I'm jealous about the winners of the competition here. And perhaps also with the competition is very strange also, no, not strange, it's very good, but all the winners are women, so perhaps you can also believe that there is a lot of women in science because of that, but it's not the reality. It's just here, perhaps our girls are very good for media and also translation about through a video. So let's go to the presentation. First of all, I just want to show you a video. I hope that the links works, and perhaps the sound, yes. Just some minutes, seconds, I hope. Ah, il n'a pas ouvert dans le bon côté, évidemment. sais pas, c'est en lien. Il y a moyen de prendre le fichier là? Just some seconds. Yes, but not there. We have a problem with the... Yes. So it was a video. I think it was produced in 2007 by the European Union. Oh, it's so sorry if you don't see it because it's really impactful. No connection. This one, it's okay. Oh, once it's okay, huh? Not this one. This one. So you see, what I'm going to say I probably don't surprise you. So this video produced for attracting girls in STEM was full of stereotypes. And probably if they produce this same video for boys, it's not the same at all. So the approach is completely different. So it's very it's the perfect illustration of what is the gender gap in STEM. So the problem with girls and the stereotypes and bias representation and even different factor as the balancing between life, work and private life, but also different type of thing like what we called an hostile environment, so an environment that is not inclusive. There is a lot of factors that just create this gender gap, and it's not only for women, of course, not women in terms of sex, biological sex, but women in general about gender. And the problem with that is that these gender gaps limit the opportunities of careers of young. If you look at the number, so just to explain them, I just take this gap in a different point of view, and you have this one. So it is the numbers that show you the underrepresentation of women in the scientific career. So you see here, in the beginning, in fact. So in the beginning, so when the boys and girls enters in the university or high school, you have almost a balance. So you have almost the same in the STEM fields. So after you see that the proportion of women versus the proportion of men drop. So it drop off all the day, at all stage. So you have here only 32% of bachelor level, 25% of PhD level, in research only 29%, and then after top academic position, 11%, and then scientific Nobel Prize, it's a good illustration also, only 3%. It was numbers coming from USA, but it's almost the same here in Europe. So you have just an illustration here of this gender gap, so the difference between the opportunities a woman and a man have in the same STEM field. And this phenomenon is known as the leaky pipeline. So you have a pipeline, and in fact you lose women at every stage. And after that, so it's during the studies and after career in academic and scientific environments, but you have also the same in general. So you have here some numbers also. For 100 women went to college and obtained a bachelor. Only 12 were graduates, and then after working in STEM after 2 years, and only 3 working in STEM after 10 years. So you have also a problem after the studies, and a lot of women leave their job in a career STEM. I'm not here to make every girl afraid about the STEM career after, just because I think here you are the good public, the good audience to make the things change, because if there is hostile environment, it's also because we are educated to make this environment hostile. So we can change that. And why? Because a lot of things can be said. We want to have more women in STEM, but why? Perhaps I like the answer of Hillary Clinton, because it's the simplest. So just because they are the largest untapped reservoir of talent in the world. Of course, why deprive ourselves of 50% of talents, of our talents and brilliant minds? Because they are there, so we can take them. And we say the numbers in the USA, but we can also just look at the numbers in the Fédération Wallonie-Bruxelles here in Belgium, the French-speaking part of Belgium. And we have these numbers. So you have here for the university, university level, different fields. And you see that a lot of fields have 50% and more of women. So for example, I don't know if to say in English vétérinaire, but vet, okay. So vet, for example, we have also, I see that there are some people coming from biomedicals and the pharmaceutical science. It's okay with the girls. It's almost the problem with the boy there. So we have also to attract boy in this type of fields here. But we can see here, if we go down, and after this part here, there is not enough women, and you have all the science here. And then after, engineering science is better. And the science, it's all the science together. So you have chemistry, biology, physics, and geology, geography, and so on. And there is no problem in every of these STEM fields. The worst are in physics and in computer science. But for example, in chemistry, it was rather 50-50 for the moment. But last year and this year, there is a little bit more women now. And they are very afraid to become as the biology, where is a lot of women. And they want to keep their boys, and biology want to attract boys. And so the gender gap can also be the reverse. So what we say here in the presentation can also be translated and transferred to the situation where there is a gender gap for boys. We are not here just to help the girls, of course. And I can also give you some information about the GenderScan international survey So here is just the result for the French-speaking part of Belgium in 2024, so last year. We have more than 300 respondents, a majority of women, but it's okay because it's 64%, 22% of boys. And you see here there is a lot of bachelor and master, a little bit of PhD level. And about the fields, so their specialization, it's very heterogeneous. So you have, of course, biology, biochemistry, computer science, so scientists, but also humanities, languages, social science, and so on. So we ask to every student of the university what about their choice, why they don't choose, for example, STEM career, and so on. So it's not just about the people who choose a STEM career, it's also about the other, not because the idea of the study is not just to discover why some people choose a STEM career, but also why some other doesn't choose them. So for example, here perhaps some of you are in a STEM field and perhaps they don't choose, for example, to come in computer science. I just spoke about for my faculty, but my department, just because they don't think they are able to make computer science. So it's just the philosophy of gender scan, just to ask to everyone what makes you to what is the element, the factor that that makes that you choose a STEM career or not. Just here, so they ask also about how they think they are good at in the primary and secondary school. So you can see here, so for mathematics, physics, computer science, you look at the result of the boys, they are confident about their knowledge. And if you look at the results of the girls, so you see there is some here weaknesses about computer science, about engineering, and about technology. And I say to you that computer science is one of the worst field in STEM with the women representation. And if you look at what influenced you the most in the choice of your specialization of study, and you see that for boys and girls, it was teacher at school, so secondary school here, because the orientation is above the university level. And then you have also this one, a relative or family member. And it's different. It's the first place for teacher for the boys and the first place for the girl for the relative and family member. But it's almost equivalent. So the influence of teacher and parent is very important. But we know that it's not the first result of this survey, because it was something very known from years to years. And if you look at this question, so this is the results of a question that just say if someone discourage you to go to STEM career, it's yes for 31% for boys and yes for 51% for girls. So boys and girls are discouraged to go to STEM careers. And if you ask who, then for the girl it's the teacher in the first place, and then the family members. And for boys, there are not a lot of respondents here, but you can see that it's the same. So you have teachers in the first, the friends, I don't know why, but and after the family members. But it's very strange to know that and to discover that in the result of the gender scan survey, just because when we analyze the issue, so not in the survey but in the literature in general, you know that probably it's based on misconception and also stereotypes. So just the idea that a parent or a teacher have about a career or have about a field of study. And for example, one of our students in the department of computer science, girl, just the teacher said to her, "You're too creative to become a computer scientist." Because for him, computer scientist is someone sit on a chair and just code all the day, and then the girl is too creative, not enough good in mathematics, and so on. So this is the reality. When you are in a, I don't know how to say in English, open door, journée porte ouverte in a university, just to discover the different field of study, it's the parents who ask questions. And probably it's the parents also who have an idea of the job, an idea of the field of study, and he transfer his idea or her idea to the students. And it's very I don't know to say, we have no impact on that. We can have impact on teacher, because we have education of teacher, and we try to ask them don't feed and don't transfer stereotypes, but on parents it's very difficult, but it's a reality. So you can see here that it's real. The people here are discouraged to go, and who discourage them? It's family members and teachers. And then we can also go deeper in the results. You have here, I don't know if you are able to read because it's very small, but I just give you the more important information. So the question, did any of the following discourage you from going into scientific or technical areas? And you have the worst result is for lack of confidence in my abilities. That's very related to the results of mathematics and so on. So the first question they ask them. So it's normal if a girl is not confident about, for example, about his abilities to make computer science, to make engineering, to make technical field, she's not able to choose this field of study. After that, you have the selectivity and level required to enter these studies. One example is, again, in computer science, but I learned a lot this field of study because we have really a big problem. When we meet the student who want to have information about the field of study of computer science, we say them, if you don't have 6 hours of mathematics, it's very difficult for you to success. I have, of course, I'm very lucky because I have 6 hours of mathematics. I make chemistry first, but I'm in the good part of the girls. But I think it's very complicated to say that, because mathematics in computer science is really important, but you don't have to come with a luggage of mathematics, because we start at 0 level. And it was a specific mathematics part. It was more logical. You don't use this mathematics in secondary school. So I think the discourse of the teacher here is too much stressful. because perhaps someone who come just with 2 hours of mathematics is able to success. And perhaps he becomes a very creative student with a different point of view of computer science, and it's very great for the department to have this type also of student. And then after, it's more not really so important, but you have also, and I think it's very important here, image and perception of school and higher education institution. And also the one I think is very interesting is I don't see if it is here. No, the equipment is for me a misconception, because telling that like a cost of the equipment needed for these studies, I don't know if you have to buy something special when you go to chemistry. I just have a tab, white tab to make the. So I think it's misconceptions there. And after that, the most important problem you face in your studies. So there are students already in the STEM careers, and you have different type of information very interesting. For example, lack of knowledge of the type of job I can access, and that's a reality, because it's very difficult, even for the teacher here in the university, to describe the job that are available for young when they go out from the university. It's too difficult to describe. Look at me, I make chemistry, and after I'm in computer science. I never work in chemistry. So it's very difficult, and we also say that in research that, for example, in STEM career where there is a problem in women representation, perhaps there is also a problem with the identification of a different job, possible job. And the job you think about when you think to computer science or physics, perhaps it's too computer science, it's a geek in front of computer, and physics, I don't know. I don't know. Perhaps he work in NASA, ESA, something like that. It's not really clear for a student just to imagine. For example, we have the same with biology. Even if there is a lot of students in biology, a lot of people say to me, I don't know what I can be able to do after my study. 30% become teacher, the other probably they have a lot of interesting job, but it's very difficult to define and to say to a student, you can choose between them, that, and that. It's not possible. And I think after it's different, the level of stress, of course, is different between the secondary and the university, so it's not so important that, but just to show you this type of thing, because when you don't know what is the job you can access, it's very difficult to choose the orientation. Just because, I don't know if you know this, it's a very old theory that say that if you have an image of yourself, and if you have an image, a representation of a job, if there are no match between the two, it's not possible to choose the study. So, when there is no representation at all of a job you can access with a field of study, it's not possible to go to this field of study. So it's very important to work on the representation of field of study and the representation of job you can access when you make a field of study. And also, this is research coming from the Université of Catholique de Louvain. When you see also the stereotype of the job. So, what jobs are important and what jobs are, I don't know how to say in English, prestigious. So, prestigious? Thank you. I have my translation there. It's very cool. So, prestigious, and you see here, so the more the job is prestigious, the more is in fact linked to boys. And you have girls there. So for example, the most prestigious is chirurgien, surgery, surgeon. But surgeon is considered as a job for men. And probably it's real. I don't know, if you look at in a hospital, there is not a lot of women with surgeon. And here you have different job for women, and here different job for men. And that's all are factors that are very important. So the representation of a job, if this job is prestigious or no. If it is prestigious, it's more for boy. The girls say, I'm not able to be there. I'm not able to be a surgeon. I'm not able to be computer scientist. Just because I give these two examples, because it depends also at the salary. The computer scientists are amongst the most important salary in Belgium for the moment. Chemistry also, when you go to pharmaceutical lab. And then just to show you that all these factors are known, but there is not a simple solution for that. Because you have here, you, the learner, so you have skills, you have self-perception, you have stereotype among you, with your parents and so on. And you have also interest, engagement, motivation, and so on. And then you have the family just around you. The family with the same beliefs, expectation, misconception, bad representation. And then after you have the school, like the perception of the teacher, and then also interaction with the student, equipment or no, and so on. So female teachers, it's like that, but for example, in primary school, it's a lot of women. There are a lot of women. So for the student, the one who have to take care to young children is women. And then after you have the society. So the mass and social media, the legislation, the gender policies, and so on. Media is very important. For example, there are results about research on algorithm of Facebook. I don't know if you use again Facebook. I think probably it's Instagram. But when you have a publicity for a university, technological or scientific technology, in fact, they focus on boys. Just because they think they are the audience of the publicity. So focus on boys. If you put a photo of makeup in the same post, so you just delete the photo of the student and you put a photo of makeup, it focuses on girls. So perhaps if you put just photo of makeup when you make the publicity for university and field of study, it works for the social media. You need to link, the same as the video in the beginning, you have to link text with different stereotype linked to girls, just to the media, the social media, think that it's possible that the girls is the audience of the publicity. It's very strange. AI is very biased. Just one question for you. Probably you understand what I want to show you. So in your opinion, what qualities are essential for a career in STEM? Just take 2 seconds to select one. And I ask you to raise your hand if you choose logical. Not so much. Do you select curious? More? I don't know, perhaps precise? there is no good response, because all are stereotypes. And if you think that a specific characteristic is linked to a job, it's a stereotype. So it's not a good response. You have to just think that everyone can make everything. I just show you this second video. Hope that it's more quick than the first one. Perhaps you know it. It was a video who asked to girls, run like girls. I don't know if you know it. Just show you a small extract. I let it in the back office. If the video comes, we can see it later. But it's the same. You see, we have just girl run like a girl. It's very interesting. The working of the girl when we ask them, and it was the same here. If you look at these results, so you see that girls at age 6 think that 30%, 34, girls are better at computer science than boys. And 20% thinks that boys are better. And you take the same, the girls at age 18. And then it was only 8% thinking that girls are better at computer science. And 39% boys are better. And if you take the boys, you see they are not so confident about girls in computer science. They think that boys are better in the two cases. It was the same with the video. I don't know if it's possible to read it. But in the video, in fact, they show that if you say to a girl age 18 or 16 or adolescents, run like girls, she make that. But if you say to a girl at age 6, run like a girl, she just run without this stereotype comportment. It's very strange to see that after a specific age, they say that probably it's at the age of 11, 12, girls are not aware about stereotypes, but after, yes. And when they become aware of stereotypes, they become to believe that they are not able to go to STEM. And so they say that our capacity to make them believe that they are able to make STEM is very short. It's from 6 to 11, 12. After, it's too late. But if parents and teachers are aware of stereotypes, perhaps there is something to say. And there is something to do also with the girls later. And just to show you that also, so the problem of stereotype, it's a problem, but also it's very important to have role model. So the model of women in science, not only Marie Curie, because Marie Curie is the excellence, and so it's very inaccessible, so not available to have, it's very difficult to have the same journey and the same career than her. But you have what we call the Matilda. Matilda is the effect Matilda. I don't know if you know that. It's just to say that some women are very good in science, but the result of their research were attributed to boys, to colleagues, and so on. So we don't know that they are good, and sometimes they are good after their death. We discover that they have a path in STEM very very impactful and so on. So all these ones are in computer science, for example, but I don't describe them, but just to show you that it's very important to have role model, because I don't know if you remember when we have the first princess in Disney, that is people of color. The reaction of the young girls, because it was the first princess people of color in a real media, not a drawing, a real person. So the reaction is very interesting because they are very happy and they are able to make the link between this princess and them. And it was the same with the role model. We need some role model that are available, that are not so far away, not so excellent, that are, you have to, the girls have to make the link between someone and make inspired by someone who is not so far away from them. And just sometimes it's just on one or two characteristics. It's not to be to find someone, admire someone with all the characteristics we want. Perhaps it's sometimes I like this person because she is that, she has that thing, and I like this one because she is that things. And so we learn about what we call the Scully. I don't know if you know the X-Files series. It's a whole series. We have the Agent Scully with a scientist, and when X-Files come on the TV, a lot of girls want to make science, just because this woman has an impact, seems to be very fun, very sexy also, and very real, in fact. It was not a Nobel Prize, it was not someone who creates something very impressive, so it's just a person with scientist. And then there is a lot of Scully at this time. So for example, I don't know, if you know Zara Rutherford. It was an aviator, Belgian aviator. She was the first one to make in ULM, in fact, to fly alone. All on Earth, not in the she make the entire I don't know what to say. Elle a fait le tour du monde, en fait, voilà. Elle a fait le tour du monde. Elle a fait le tour du monde seule en ULM à 18 ans. Elle est belge, hein? She's a Belgian people. So I meet her, she's incredible because she's just like us. I think that I meet someone very prestigious, and but she's very cool. And also you have different example, as Sophie Adeno with the new astronaut in the ESA, and Cathy Booman. I don't know if you know her, but she make the capture of the image of the black hole. And you have also a lot of Scully here in the university. I just take two young researcher and student coming from this university, just to show you that with this video here, I just make some words about that, because I think, and I see the video, I think it's very useful. It can be very useful to make them more visible. You see here with this this presentation the importance of breaking stereotypes, challenging expectation, and taking an active role in promoting STEM. You have the talent here, I see the video. You have the talent, the energy, and the ideas to make the difference. And all this video competition has proven that. I don't know these two girls, just I have a link with LinkedIn because I'm like this. If I see a profile that interests me, I just click because I see, perhaps a day I need her to come and to make a presentation, or I don't know, just because they are girls in computer science and physics. It's strange, but it's like that. And I see a lot of people very interesting here also. And then I think that you have to never forget that real change often comes from those who dare to be different, who choose not to conform to expectation, and who inspire others simply through their example. So that's why I choose these two ones. You have all the tools to become those role models. I'm really inspired by all your work on the video. You can be this role model. I can also say that to boys because, of course, we speak about women here, but there is a place where boys have to be role model also. And then probably you have the one who inspire younger generation to pursue their dreams, to never be held back by stereotypes, and to believe in their abilities regardless of their gender. So I ask you to raise your voice and become the role models that so many young people need, and it's because of people like you that we will succeed in changing mindset and opening more doors in STEM. So I wish you all bright and long future in STEM. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie, for this inspiring talk. Do you have any questions in the audience? Would you like to ask Julie anything? Shh. Okay, Julie, you know we have younger students here in the audience from secondary school. So what advice could you give them if they'd like to study science? Maybe we have youngers who are a bit afraid of, you know, studying science. They're younger, they're not role models yet. What advice could you give them?
In English or in French?
As you wish.
So probably I can give as advice not to simply look at the folder in the university, but asking people. You have a lot of relation perhaps in the media, social media, and then perhaps it's better for you to go to ask questions to students, just to ask if it is real that perhaps there is a lot of mathematics, it is very difficult or no, because if you ask to students directly, in fact sometimes just they say it's not so difficult. If you have some help, it's okay. We are a lot. We all work together. So I think it's not. Don't be afraid and try also, perhaps, because sometimes we have. I don't know how to say in English, but sometimes we have a student who is revealed during his study, and is not perhaps the better student in the first year of his bachelor, but after, yes. And I'm like that because I'm not a good student in chemistry, but I'm better, no. I'm better not in chemistry, but in the place I am. And I think my chemistry path it was not easy, but it was very rich. And I think that's why I'm here now. So I think it's necessary sometimes to go through something perhaps a little bit difficult, but it's not totally impossible. You can make it.
Step out of your comfort zone, go and trust yourself. I think we have a question here.
Okay, my name is John Thomas. I'm director of the Eurospace Center. We work already together in the space, but I have the same difficulty that you have. To have girls in the Eurospace Center for the different kind of camp, it's really difficult. If we make a space camp, it's really easy, but if we begin with some specific camp, like communication camp, or 3D camp, or satellite camp, it will be difficult to have some girl. We try to have publicity and communication with more girl inside the video of something else like that, but what can we make more to have more girl in the camp in the Eurospace Center? Do you have an idea about that?
Work on the parents, because I think it's a problem. Because when you make a training for young, it's probably the parent who choose, and it's easy for a parent to say that probably a boy like training with robots, but it's not so easy for them to believe that girls can like it also. And it's not just because you put some photo of girls on a folder that it's okay. Probably we have a lot of things to make with parents and teacher before to make it with young, because at this age, the age of your stage, there is no problem with girls and science. It's just because the parent believe that perhaps they prefer to go make horse, or I don't know, something like that.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Anyone? No? Okay, so remember, trust yourself, step out of your comfort zone, and don't be afraid of science. Thank you.